this is working. Okay. I think it started.
The intros.
Did it start? Oh, never mind. Someone else do it. I don't know what to
Great
say.
way
I'm
to
not good at
start.
intros.
I mean, you can cut this out.
Yeah, we're cutting this out.
You don't need to do an intro.
But you
I
said
don't
you
have to
wanted
cut this out.
host.
Oh, yeah. What do
You
hosts
cut
do?
anything out. It's raw.
Yeah, it's raw. What do hosts do?
What do hosts do? They host.
This,
You introduce.
this is the
That's
bloopers.
the
Well, actually, I have the
Welcome to
list
our
of
podcast that you're all listening
ideas
to.
in front of me, so should
Alright.
I host?
Well, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
I think I shared the stock with you.
All
Yeah, you should if
1,000
everyone.
are listening to 10,000 of you listened.
100,000.
10 billion of you.
Specifically, that one guy
Every
named
fan,
right?
All 10
Dave.
billion, that's
Humans.
right. In 100 years, when we got 10 billion people on this earth, every one of y'all are gonna be listening to this.
What do you bet there's someone named
This
Dave
can be
listening to this
treated
right now?
as a
You're my best
up.
crewmate.
Somebody in the future is
fuck up,
listening to
Chris,
this right
please.
now. It might be me, but somebody is listening to
This
in the future.
podcast is gonna serve as population control. People are gonna listen to it and then want to jump off of a fucking bridge because of how
And
shit
then
it
they're gonna
is.
actually jump
I
off a
like that
bridge, but
idea.
hey, if someone listens to this podcast and jumps off a bridge, I hope they die when they land.
Hey, it means we're having an impact on people. That's more than we can hope
Oh,
for.
and they're having an
As hard
impact
an
on the
impact
ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. As hard as
Well,
the
I mean-
concrete that they hit when they fell.
Can you survive falling off a bridge? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You
can.
fall from
What are
any
you
height.
jumping onto?
As long as you roll when you land.
Dude, you were invincible as long as you were rolling. Oh, sorry, you are as
Oh,
long as you were rolling.
Shit. Okay. Did you know you need a pickaxe to break brewing stands?
Invincible gas. That's crazy. You don't
Anyway,
I do
this is Mountain Twink Syndicate Twink Boys. Syndicate.
Good point, boys.
work out the name.
I think I
later.
said Syndicate 3. Well,
We'll
So
work out
wait,
the
have
name
we
later.
started yet?
yeah, of course we
Yeah,
started.
we started.
Oh.
Have you not heard our
Since
our intro?
Drew said, have we started yet the first time? Yeah, we
Yeah, no, this is all
Oh,
staying
I didn't
in.
know. I didn't know. I thought Drew was just
No,
confused.
we're really organized. It's fine.
Yeah, no, this
Until we
is-
get a sponsor, we don't need to try.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. And we ain't getting a sponsor. So.
Yeah.
Not with that mindset.
I mean, the way to get a sponsor is to
Funimation
not
gonna
want a
sponsor us
sponsor.
Because we're gonna shit
Who
talk
wouldn't
Demon
wanna-
Slayer so hard.
Who wouldn't
Don't
want
they
to
own,
see
like,
this after,
the
what's
movie?
Today's topic,
It owns
Drew?
Crunchyroll now.
Well, we're gonna talk about good. We're gonna talk good about the movie because I'm gonna talk good about the movie. I'm gonna say the movie was better than the show at least. Oh, spoilers!
I mean,
the
that's
movie was better than the
insane.
show.
Oh no, I've only seen half the show.
Well, the movie
Oh
was pretty
no,
cool.
I've seen one episode.
The movie was good. I like the
Why
movie.
haven't you seen more?
Oh,
I haven't seen more. I mean, personally, it's because I'm a fucking lazy shit and I can't commit to watching
I was
anything.
looking for it because the show's shit, and no one should watch it.
wait.
I mean,
Before we
yeah.
get into the mid Slayer talk, because that's our first segment, mid Slayer. Let's just do a little. What has everyone here been watching lately? What stuff have you seen recently?
Oh, Code Gay Ass. That
mech?
shit
Uh,
is a mech, but it's like if Death Note met Gundam, met
Ooh. Because Gundam looks like ass, I'm not gonna lie.
Gundam is pretty cool. I read the
yeah,
first
but Linkin
book.
Park likes it, so I respect that.
But you read the book, the anime looks like ass.
Well, of
Okay,
course it looks
okay.
like ass. It was
And
made
it's
in
also
like
a
70
giant
or something.
political Game. Code
gi-
Gay Ass, pretty lit.
A giant
Code
what game?
Geass, I mean, it's like about a bunch of brilliant people, isn't it?
It's a bunch of like
It
smart
looks
people doing
interesting,
smart
At
stuff.
least. I don't
Yeah,
give
I
a
mean,
fuck
I'm-
about mechs, but
okay.
that seems interesting.
Okay, I'm 7 episodes into season 1, right? I've never seen a show start off stronger than it. Like, I'm
Ah,
Not
The,
even
uh,
Death
the-
Note. Death Note was fucking on its shit in 2
That's
Whoa.
true.
episodes.
That's true. That's true. When I was done watching the 3rd episode, I was like, so much shit has happened. This could have been a season. This was if the 3 episodes of Code Geass happened in Naruto, it would have been 50 episodes. Like, so it's like shit goes down really fast, and I really enjoyed
Nice.
it. And then Lelouch is like the light of the series, obviously.
isn't he like
And so-
not a good guy, but like
Is he a
a
bad guy or something.
He's well, he's
depends
morally
on whose
gray.
side you're on.
Yeah, because like Britannia, who's the empire ruling over Japan, is like they're all dictators basically, and it's like it's like Germany in World War II. You know, like they fucking hate
You mean
the
epic?
Japanese people. What the
Oh, that's
fuck?
weird.
Okay. Yeah. So they murder people and shit, and Lelouch ain't having that shit. and he's like, "I'm gonna destroy Britannia with this power I got called the gas."
It's actually called the
But
gas.
you know,
Code gas.
So that's where gas comes from
Called
in
the
code
gas.
gas.
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
Whoa.
it's really lit. I'll definitely be finishing it probably this weekend or
Alright.
finishing season 1 this weekend. But really,
What about
good
you,
so
Nick? What have
far.
you been seeing?
Oh, I've been seeing JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5 for the first time.
For the first time, yeah.
That-
For the
Let's
actual
go.
first time, shut up. I'll tell you what, it's
Better than the
it's
other
good.
time that you
It's
see it,
very good.
right?
The other time I didn't see it, you mean?
The other time
I
that you
did not
were
watch it.
supposed to be
the
seeing
other
it.
time you had Minecraft open and were listening to the audio of
I was
JoJo's Part
listening
5,
to
then
the
proceeded
Japanese
to
audio.
Listening to
say,
the audio
Understand.
dubbed.
Then you proceeded to say, "Man, Part 5 ain't that good."
Part 5 makes no sense when you don't listen to it or watch it.
Yeah. Bro, even his fucking stand made no sense to me.
I
Yeah,
wonder
'cause
why.
I missed the explanation.
I missed the explanation for a somewhat complicated stand. The main characters,
Yeah.
that's not okay.
Yeah.
I made a huge
Also, like,
mistake.
a weird fucking
And I was
stand.
not into the
It's a cool
characters
stand,
at
but it's a
all the
weird
first
stand.
time.
No, it's really cool. It's just like
Which
the
is
way
weird
it works
because
is
I
weird as
fucking
well.
love the characters
Like
now.
if Giorno died, like so many other people would die as a result because they just have body parts made from his stand.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because wasn't it at some point like, oh what was it? At some point like he like deactivated his stand or something. I don't remember what it
Yeah.
was, and like someone fell apart or something.
Was it on the plane with the?
I think it
the-
was
the
Notorious
mutating
Big.
thing?
spoilers for
The
part
only
5, by the
episode I
way.
watched were the two about Notorious Big.
Well, of course, those were like
We can
amazing.
just put a warning at the start.
Yeah,
Whoever
spoiler
edited
warning.
this
Part
will
6
enjoy
is
that.
about to come out. Part 5 been out for like 3 years.
Yeah, if you've
If
if
y'all
you
haven't seen it by now.
we talk about anime. If you haven't
fuck are
seen
you
anime,
waiting for?
like don't watch this. It's boring. What the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah.
Go watch. If you haven't seen JoJo's, go watch
We'll
JoJo's.
get
Don't listen to this
stuff
shit.
one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoilers for part
No,
5.
watch
After they meet the boss
this
for the
first
first time, like
because
at one point,
JoJo's
Trish's
we're
wrist gets slit.
gonna review
First time
JoJo's.
again.
We are gonna read JoJo's, but tiny JoJo's talk until then. Trish's wrist gets slit, and at one point, like Giorno deactivates his stand
Fine.
after he like
Uh,
repairs it, and like it starts bleeding again and everything. And then something else happens, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Part 5 pretty good.
Part
That's
5 is
not
really
very
good.
It's a really solid part.
I'm
It's
a
just
third of the way
disconnected
through,
from
which
the
is
rest
really
of the
good.
parts, and then they try to hold it together with Koichi being the first fucking two.
No one likes
episodes.
Koichi.
I-
No one
dude,
likes Koichi. Who
I
liked
really thought
Koichi?
was
Hey,
only there for-
hey, I
like
like
Koichi.
Koichi.
You like Koichi?
People here
Okay,
like Koichi,
that's
I
cool.
have no reason not to like Koichi.
You don't?
Dweeb.
Do you have any reason to like Koichi?
No,
Okay.
he's like a solid B tier character for me.
B tier?
Yeah,
I don't know
I
about
just
B
hate
tier.
when
Yeah.
people
to
get
like him,
credit
but
for shit they don't do.
What did he get credit for?
They only
Speaking
say
of getting
you're
credit
liable.
for stuff they didn't do, so Demon Slayer is
He
like
never
really
got.
popular.
He never got credit. People just liked
You see that
him.
amazing
Yeah, but
segue? Are you not gonna applaud that?
And then he was like, you know what, we all good.
Hold
He
on,
was like,
bro.
yo,
We
it's
still
chill.
talking though.
Giorno's a cool dude. And then
Giorno's cool.
Jotaro
but-
laid off. It was that
Actually,
cool.
nah.
It was that easy. Honestly, what was the
I-
point there though? That
I mean,
I wasn't so
honestly,
sure
I
about the
wouldn't have
point of him
cared
being in
about
part.
Koichi being in part 5 if it weren't for the fact that I didn't enjoy him in part 4. Because in part 5, he didn't matter. He was just a way to say, hey, look, guys, this is JoJo's too. So, yeah, whatever. But I didn't like him in part
Alright,
4.
whatever.
But
we
that,
could
that's
talk
for
about
a
JoJo's
different
all
day.
day, but we got the real meat to get to.
Alright,
Yeah.
now your transition again, please.
My
Or actually,
transition.
Dylan, you watching anything?
Speaking. Oh yeah. Wait.
Oh, yeah,
I-
wait, yeah.
Forgot there's still two of us
I'm
left.
making my way through Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid season 2, and
I
I
watched season
watched
one
the
of that.
first episode of Love Live Superstar,
Oh,
and
so
I'm reading some good manga called.
Speaking of reading manga,
Non-
I am reading
called
part
Nana.
6, too, of JoJo's.
I'm reading. What am I reading? I just finished Before the Fall. Before the Fall is great.
Speaking
like
of
Attack on
watching
Titan, read it
shows
before the
through,
fall.
Can you DM me your password again? Because I'd love to log into my phone. It'd make it very convenient for me.
Just look in the DMs. Did you delete them or something?
For what platform? Are you talking about Funimation?
No, VRV. Funimation.
Oh, VRV.
Fucking who cares? I'd rather pirate something than watch it on Funimation. Hey, sponsor us, Funimation.
My opinion on what? Hey.
Yo, wait, I was gonna like just tell you Drew's password, and I realized, oh, this is gonna get put on the internet.
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's
Blur
not
out
discuss
what
my
people say is
password.
needed.
Yeah, if we want to edit this shit, and
We
that's
could say the
fine.
password. I don't think anyone would believe that it's actually the password. Enough
But
about
now that you said
passwords.
it, they will
You could
believe
say
it. Someone,
Yeah.
well,
a
the thing
password.
is, Drew.
Nah,
someone
Drew, I'll
might
just
have
give out your
just
email
do
as
it.
well.
Oh
And
yeah.
then they could
Oh, yeah,
put it
well,
out and
Drew,
see if it
What's
What's
your
Give
works.
out your
social
email.
security number, by the way?
Believe it or not, like how you have to always
What
like
if you give a
say like the
password
last four
without the
numbers.
email, then,
I
like,
don't know
honestly,
any of the
it's
numbers of my
like
social security number. I
email
think the number
password.
4 might be in it, possibly.
Really?
The worst part is
I don't know.
for me,
I
I
just
know
don't know
the
it.
first 5, and I forget the last 4, and the last 4 are the
Why
ones
have
you
y'all
need to
not
know.
memorized?
I've
your
memorized
social
Because I
mine.
like don't
That's
fill out
like
any of
an
my
important thing to
documents.
know.
I'll just
I
like look it up
memorized
every time I
when
need
got
it.
my job, and
When I
then
quit
All
my
right,
job,
admit
I
it
was
right
familiar
now.
with
Which
your
one of y'all
certificate.
dumbasses put your
Post
social
this.
security number in the
Post it,
Notes
whatever.
app of your iPhone?
I didn't.
I did not.
I just
did
keep
it
my
for
one of my
paper
old pay
notes.
stubs downloaded because it has it written down in
We
my
don't
pay
have
stub.
Well, I was.
All right, good job.
Androids have,
I'm not
like,
friends
the
with
same apps, they
dumbasses.
just look
Yeah.
Yeah.
For example, the Samsung Notes app. Laugh it up. I have a fucking Samsung. I
It's
love
alright.
Samsung. They're way
I don't
better.
really think I don't have a preference either way. But
I have
regardless,
a preference. Samsung. I feel like
Drew,
iPhones are
your
designed
amazing
for children.
My amazing segue. Well,
They
first what
kind
I've
of
been watching
are.
too.
Transition.
What
You're right.
I've been watching. We missed the best.
Oh.
Save the best for last. What even have I been watching? I don't know. I haven't watched anything for like 2 weeks. But the last thing I watched was Moriarty the Patriot season
Well,
1. I
BRB
finished
said
that
you watched
finally.
Dragon Maid.
That's Dylan.
Dylan.
My
Oh,
account.
you finished that?
No, everyone owns
Oh.
my account now. So everyone, I've watched pretty much everything
Yeah,
now.
BRV sponsor us. We're definitely not abusing your system.
We definitely aren't sharing
Abusing
between like
not.
6 or 7 people or whatever. Oh, we're not.
Abusing?
Like 5 people. Whatever. Moriarty the Patriot season 1.
Yeah.
Really, really good. It's like,
Dude, it's just the sign
Wait, you're
that
talking
BRB
about
is
that
good.
Sherlock Holmes.
yeah. It's about
Moriarty.
they kind of
Yeah,
like
Moriarty.
pivot halfway through the first season to where it looks like Moriarty's going to be the main character, but then like the last half of the season focuses on Sherlock instead. And at first I was like, oh, that's a shame. I want to see something from
when you
Moriarty's
told me
perspective.
It was a Sherlock Holmes anime. I didn't think you literally meant that it.
No,
had
yeah, no,
Sherlock
literally Sherlock
as
Holmes.
the character.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
it was just like, oh, a detective thing.
No,
Yeah,
Sherlock
right.
Holmes
Manga.
is one of the main
definitely wanna-
characters.
I definitely want to watch it.
What was
at
that?
this
By the
point,
way,
but-
it's pretty good.
What was good?
The Frankenstein manga was pretty good.
Frankenstein. Junji Ito. Junji Ito's great. Junji Ito's amazing. I don't need to say that. Everyone loves Junji Ito. Well, almost everyone likes Junji Ito.
Feet? Ooh.
Gross.
Feet.
Name a more disgusting part of the human body than the foot.
The webbing in between the fingers.
The asshole?
That's not
Y'all ever
gross.
purposely paper cut the webbing?
Paper
Fuck
cut,
off.
When
yeah.
you're a little kid and you're an idiot.
Yes.
Wait,
They do that on
hold up.
Jackass,
We
and I
all wait.
just couldn't
Can
stand
we
it.
take a step back? You was talking about the dirtiest part of the body, and nobody said the asshole when we don't even use fucking bidets over here.
We're not talking about
Listen,
dirty. We're
I
talking
would
about
love to use a
grossest.
bidet, but
Yeah, the asshole is gross and dirty because we fucking caveman it and wipe hunks of paper against our ass.
Well,
Sort of
That's
cleaning them.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
so much more epic than using water.
That's fair. Wait, no, it
Mhm.
isn't.
Bidets
No,
are invented
bidets
by
are
the
epic.
French.
Yeah,
well, I mean,
French
based
makes some
on the
cool
way it's
stuff.
Pronounced. Jesus.
Pronounced.
Was the
Nuns
guy who
be
named it?
nuns.
Was it named after him? Was there a
Mr.
guy
Bidet.
named Bidet?
Mr. Bidet.
Okay, so back to
Mr.
Koichi.
Bidet.
Speaking
Alright,
of
anyway.
things that get credit for things that they didn't do,
People inexplicably don't like.
people shut up.
I don't know, just
People love
Let 'em
Demon
try
Slayer.
back.
no reason to hate them.
Why do people love Demon Slayer?
Ah,
I want to know.
That's
There's all of the popular
Okay,
shows.
so
I can see why
obviously,
people
you
like
know,
it.
like,
not even playing.
Demon Slayer, I can't
Okay,
see it.
okay,
I don't know.
true. Here's the thing, right? So we watched Demon Slayer way after the hype was over.
Yeah.
But
Wait, did you two
apparently
watch it
the
together?
reason, no,
No, just not at the same time.
well, we saw the movie together.
Yeah.
But around the same time we watched the show. But
Oh,
the reason that
another
Demon Slayer
siren.
got so popular was because episode 19 started trending on Twitter like super hard, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was already popular before that, but episode 19 had like really good animation for
Yeah.
about half the episode. The other half's boring as shit, like the first 18 episodes.
Yeah.
And then, like, well, actually,
Yeah,
that's not even
there was some
entirely true.
moments
There,
that
yeah,
were
there's some.
Well, no, I don't even think
Yeah,
there's
like,
something
those
wrong
first
with Demon
18,
Slayer. It's just like,
but, like,
why did Demon Slayer get
intense
popular and then
arrow.
like,
I like that
Yeah.
fight.
Well, here's the thing. My view on Demon Slayer just ends up being skewed because, like, I say, oh, there's nothing wrong with it, but then I see people giving it a fucking 10,
Yeah.
and then I'm like,
There's a
this
lot
makes me
wrong
want
with
to
it.
like it.
This
Yeah.
will tell you, there's a lot wrong with it.
Yeah. There's a
Well,
lot
one thing
wrong.
is,
But
the
there's also a
dubbing
lot right.
is so bad. It's so bad.
The dubbing
Yeah.
is
Like-
fucking laughably bad.
Someone needed to like put an extra
Dude,
zero on the end of their paycheck.
Somebody way down the line that finally hears
And it
this
wasn't
episode
even
is
like
kicking,
rookie
punching me, like, I thought it
voice
was
actors
fucking
either.
good. I think Zach Aguilar is amazing. Oh wait, there's Koichi
Tanjiro
again.
definitely didn't sound
Turns
like
right
he was
back
gonna
to
kill
Koichi.
himself.
Yeah,
What a
everything goes
horrible
back to
voice actor
Koichi.
That guy is. Everything goes back to Koichi. Tanjiro's voice actor is dog
Inosuke-
shit.
Is Koichi like the
Inosuke
Kevin Bacon of
voice
anime?
actor-
Excuse me, Kevin Bacon's awesome.
No, because Kevin like the whole
I
like
think you mean
7
Kevin James.
No, Kevin Bacon, because like every single actor, you can by connecting the roles in movies, you can relate any actor to Kevin Bacon in less than 7 connections. So like you can say actor A was in a movie with actor B, actor B was in a movie with actor C, and actor C was in a movie with Kevin Bacon. Any actor, I think it's like 7
That's
degrees of Kevin
crazy.
Bacon or whatever.
What?
Any actor can Kevin Bacon. So you can say
Oh my
any
God.
any other
Awesome.
thing in anime is 7 degrees of Koichi. I don't know if that's
Probably,
true,
actually.
but like that would be
You
cool
know,
if that's
okay,
true.
So there were 3 just horrible dub choices. The second one I want to talk about in Demon Slayer, beyond Tanjiro, who we were just talking about. In case
I didn't think he was
people
that bad. He was
didn't
just
know.
boring.
Okay, he sounded like he wanted to kill himself the entire time.
I mean, he
And
probably did.
Tanjiro's voice actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
He's
But the
just
second one
someone
I want to
hate
talk
him.
about is Inosuke. So like,
Inosuke
first
wasn't
off,
good,
That whole
yeah.
like trope of I want to fight everyone. It has to be done right. Like, and I don't think Demon Slayer did it right.
I think
then
you gotta
also
watch
the
him sub.
voice
I think
actor.
Inosuke's the best part so far of the whole show.
He's definitely my favorite
Maybe I
character
should
in the
watch the
actual
show.
show.
15 episodes in, Inosuke is easily the best part of it right now.
Okay, but anyway, so Inosuke's voice actor, he's shit in a lot of things. Like, Drew, you saw him in
Yeah.
7 Deadly Sins.
Yes, I
And
believe if I'm remembering correctly,
Sword Art Online.
Meliodas,
He was
Kirito,
also
Wow.
Dub Aaron, I think.
Dub Aaron. I never big of a problem with Dub Aaron as
I
everyone
think
else
Aaron
does.
was Zach Aguilar actually.
Yeah.
Was he?
The
Oh.
only issue I have with that is so I haven't watched the show stuff, but I actually
Is it
enjoyed
Aguilar?
Inosuke's voice actor in the Fate series. He
Yes,
voiced,
I was really
Shiro
surprised to hear that he
Emiya.
did
No,
that.
yeah, Shiro Emiya.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought his job in those dubs were
Was it like a
quite good.
vastly different character?
He was kind of just
Well, I mean, he's a
regular
different
old main
but it's
character.
like the voice he did for Inosuke is like he was pinching his nose so hard, it like blow your nose, dude. That's all you needed to do, and you wouldn't have been so insufferable. But then, the final trio, the bad dubbing. We had Zenetsu.
oh
who,
yeah.
first off,
Honestly,
Let's see if I can-
comparably good.
okay, like
Which I think is
everyone
embarrassing, 'cause he's
everyone
not very
loves
good
him
either.
just because he like when he like falls asleep or whatever, the cool guy takes over.
He is cool when
But,
he's
like,
fall
that,
asleep.
That sounds all well and good.
It's over.
Yeah, no. he,
Sounds
he
like
is,
fucking
but
furry
the issue
promo.
is he's he isn't asleep most of the time, right? So you
There
have
was
to
that
go with
one
this rancid
oh.
ass personality.
What was that? I don't know. I've been reading the manga. Manga of Demon Slayer is actually really good.
Stanky
Okay.
ass personality.
He's also a fucking menace. The way he acts with Nezuko, holy shit! Like
I don't, do people find that?
he's so
Well, I don't know why I'm
funny.
asking. I know people find that funny. What's
yeah,
funny
when
about
we-
someone
when we
being
saw the movie,
obnoxious on
people
screen?
were cackling, laughing about it.
I really don't
It
understand
was
the
so
comedy in the show.
rapey.
Yeah.
The comedy
It was
just doesn't
so
land
fucked.
ever, and
How
it's never
old
is-
like, it never fits the scene it's in.
Yeah.
Like,
How
like
old-
the way episode 15 starts is fucking. They wake up, they're in that house, and then what the fucking fuck? What's her name again?
Nezuko?
Nezuko steps out of the box, and Zenetsu is like, oh, Nezuko, and he starts chasing her around the room,
Yeah. Again, rapey.
and then Inosuke out of nowhere starts chasing him around the room, and this scene lasts for 5 minutes.
Is that number correct? Is that
That
accurate?
number's
Probably.
fucking correct.
Really?
I mean, maybe the opening was before all that, but still, at the 5-minute mark, that horrible scene was finally over.
How old is Zenetsu?
He's
14
supposed to-
maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how
He's
old
like
is
the
that?
same age as Tom. No, isn't he
Nezuko's
16?
like 12, I think.
Yeah, I think they're the main three are 16, and then Nezuka's like.
Zenitsu is
Zenitsu's a rapist, is what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
definitely.
It's Zenitsu.
And
He's
if you
16.
enjoy his character, then you're rebelling. Holy
You
fuck.
probably play Genshin Impact. I'm really sorry.
Genshin
We just made a lot of
Impact,
people
why
mad.
don't you sponsor us.
Nezuko
That's
is
why we're all pedophiles here. We
Oh,
all play
by the
Genshin
way,
Impact on the daily.
Speaking of
12,
Genshin
no,
Impact,
14
Go back to the start of the
ish.
episode. Impacts.
Impact's as
on
hard as
the
Genshin
ground.
fucking Impact.
Oh yeah, impacts.
The people that
The people that kill
from
themselves
listening
after
to this shit,
listening to this.
Yeah.
they also happen to have Genshin Impact installed. Anyways,
I think I have that installed on my
least
phone.
in the-
Maybe.
No. Listen, it's not as fucked as you think. It's the reason that they have it installed is so they listen to us, and in the future we're definitely gonna get sponsored by Genshin Impact.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
gonna listen to our sponsor and be like, man, we should
Yeah,
like
they're gonna-
get this game,
they're gonna
and then they're
kill
gonna
me.
listen to our voices talk, and then they're gonna kill themselves, and then they're gonna have Genshin Impact while they made an impact on the floor, and that's our impact on society.
The Genshin Impact on society. Here's the problem.
Oh my
We're
God.
not gonna get a Genshin Impact sponsor because we said they're all pedophiles that play that game.
That's
But if they
satire,
are,
though.
then it's not an insult.
It's
Yeah,
like
sure,
all
so-
pedophiles
yeah,
and
I
like
think it's satire.
girl streamers.
Not everybody does.
I'm not even gonna lie, I really don't even know what satire means.
Satire? Oh, it's very simple.
I can't
They
tell if that's
explained
I
it.
can't tell if that's
Adam
satirical or not.
Shabice's whole personality.
We
I
can't
thought
even get started on
satire was like-
Adam
I
Shabice.
thought satire is like ironic or like sarcastic.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sort of, yeah.
It's like what One Punch Man is.
Yeah, it's like when something like
It's meant to make fun of something else by
Yeah.
pretending to be serious.
yeah, but by pretending to be that thing. So like One Punch Man's a satire on
It's usually
shonen.
obvious that it's
But it's a lot of
if
people
it's bad satire means you would think it's serious.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it normally goes like way over the top as well. So
Yeah, then there's
an extra
that.
cherry
There's an
on top.
absurdity factor to it.
Yeah.
The more absurd, the funnier. That's the rule. That's just the way comedy works. If it's more absurd, it's funnier.
you're saying the golden rule of comedy is random equals funny.
Pretty much.
He did say
Oh,
that.
no.
It makes it funnier. Have you not seen the "I'm nefarious" meme?
I've not.
I don't
Does that
think
make
so.
any fucking sense? No, but it's
Hey,
the funniest thing I've ever
Future
seen.
Drew or whoever's editing, put it on.
Add random. Add
that's
random
probably
with
gonna be me
loud, and
editing,
then you
yeah.
get like a.
Wait,
the
is
perfect-
it? Did you post that
perfect
earlier, like a
combination,
day
yeah.
ago?
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god! I'm
Oh,
not gonna
that
say
one,
it.
okay.
I can't.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna.
God damn
well,
it.
Sure you can.
could, but you're not going
It'd be
to.
very beneficial to not say the N-word this early on.
Yeah, we'll save
It'd
that
be
for
pretty
our.
beneficial to not say the N word at
Early on.
all.
Race reveal.
All you have to
Raise-
know is that
oh,
he's
wait,
on
I
his
could just claim
troublemaker
black.
shit.
Race
If I claim
reveal.
black, then
Did you say
we're
claim
good,
black?
right?
What the hell is that?
claim black.
Ethnicity.
Ooh.
This isn't.
Ethnicity reveal.
It's not a draft.
It's like Gmod.
Okay. All
Like,
right. To tie
flame
our
traitor.
next topic in with the Demon
It's like
Slayer.
a
So,
Mogus.
hey Drew,
Yeah.
how would you describe the people who laughed at the Demon Slayer jokes during the movie?
Oh.
Oh.
Right.
If you had to use one word.
One word. Well,
Grams of
I don't know. There's a few different words I could use. Definitely wouldn't be the word us. That's
I think
because
we
they're
just said
definitely
that.
not.
Oh, yeah.
us.
Oh, yeah.
Just hit it
Chris,
right
could
on
you
the
could
head.
you say that?
Yeah,
louder?
Chris. I can't.
Need I
It's on the tip of my
explain
tongue.
that?
I don't know what it is, Chris.
Need I
Yes, please
need I
explain.
explain the whole theory though behind it?
I mean, you are the originator of this.
Yeah.
Movie, so
Okay.
go for it.
So
Go ahead.
basically, the word that we're thinking of is them. Now, what I mean by that is there's us, and then there's them. Now, generally, if you have to question whether you're us or if you're one of us or you're one of them, that means you're one of them. But point is that
We don't make the rules. Sorry.
the general society, the general society is one of us, one of us. But you know that weird ass kid in class, bro, the one that everyone fucking avoids, the fucking just like total nerd, like that has no regard for like social cues of any sort.
You are slightly just describing
Not
like
necessarily
Asperger's.
autistic.
It's hard to describe. One
It's
of
like when
them
someone
without giving
acts
an
like they have
example of something.
Asperger's, but without having Asperger's. Because we can't say that people with Asperger's are them, because that's
Well, I mean,
definitely
here's the
crossing a
problem.
little bit too
Okay,
much of a
it's not
line.
mutually
Asperger's are
exclusive, Drew.
unfortunately one of them.
It's not mutually exclusive. People
I don't
could
make the
have
rules, dude.
Asperger's
And I
or
didn't give them
autism and be
Asperger's,
one
they're
of
just one of
us.
them.
You
I
can,
mean,
definitely.
it's really,
I
it's
feel
not
like
an
more
easy
times than
thing to
not, they
describe
might
one
be
of
one of them,
them
unfortunately.
without giving an example of someone that you already know. We're not going to name
Yeah.
drop, obviously.
Yeah.
Can we
But
think of a celebrity who's one of them?
Oh,
Celebrity is one of them.
probably.
Oh, fucking, what's Jenny Slate? She's one of them.
who?
I don't even know who she is.
bro, Amy
She was,
Schumer,
have you seen Venom?
No,
Y'all have seen Venom.
I have not seen
That's
Venom.
I like the memes. I like the Eminem
She was the
song.
doctor in the beginning that like recruited Eddie to take care of all the shit.
Well, I still haven't seen Venom, so I
looks
don't
weird.
know.
She played.
Wait, Jenny
I think
Slate,
she
you said?
Dating or
She played the
dated
half
Chris
black
Evans.
Jewish. Yeah, she played the half black
Jenny
Jewish
Slate?
girl on Big Mouth.
James
half
Corden is one of
Black
them.
Jewish
Oh,
girl.
Yeah, that's a great example. Thank
Well,
you.
I
James
mean,
Corden.
like,
Wait,
to
I
be
don't like.
honest-
I like James Corden.
Have you?
I mean, a good way
Have you
to
not seen?
a good way to
James
describe it
Corden
or give an
sucks.
example is in the case that you did present, where like someone that would laugh at someone saying like Aaron Yeager in the fucking
Oh,
theaters,
God.
Oh yeah.
or someone that would even say it. Actually, in
Yes,
fact,
someone who's
Someone
someone
that would say.
someone that would shout Aaron Yeager in the theaters while watching the fucking Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer movie. They're one of them. And there's no question
Absolutely.
behind it
So-
either. It's
And
not
I
like
know
What is there to
there's some
laugh at
audience
there?
members who like are thinking,
It's
wait,
funny
am I
to
one of
think
them?
about, but who the
Yeah,
fuck
you're
says
one of them if you're thinking.
If you have to
that.
consider it, you're one. If you're like thinking, but you think you're like
That's the
you're
biggest
like
point.
I'm not one of them. No, you're not one of them. If you know you're not one of them, you're not one of them. If you
Yeah,
think,
same
You
with
think,
oh well, maybe
if
yeah,
you feel
could
like
be, but no,
we're
I don't think I
describing
am.
you, I have bad
hold
news
up.
for you,
I'll
buddy.
be back in a sec.
And there's no like minimum requirement for them or maximum requirement for them. If you've done something,
Minimum
them,
requirement
you're
is to
them.
be
I'm
one of
sorry.
them. If you do something that makes you one of them,
Yeah, I think I'm talking a
And
little
I'm
too
not
loud.
Agree that
You're
what we are
unapologetically
describing
one of them,
is
what I'm
definitely one of them. My question is being them such a terrible thing?
Well,
Ooh,
you see,
okay.
raise a
not
great
necessarily,
point.
because
Okay,
there
okay.
are
You know,
It's
I
a
Because
bad
don't get
thing
me
because I'm
wrong,
not gonna
they're
associate with you, and I'm a
cringe.
fan.
There
But
are
is it
degrees of
so
them.
bad to be cringe?
There are
I'd rather
many,
be, I'd
many
rather be
degrees of that.
cringe than cringe.
Dylan, I
Yeah.
I do
Dylan, you sound
love
a
the
little bit like one of
phrase
them right now.
"ignorance is bliss,"
Mm.
but
Mhm.
to a point, right? Like, I mean, sure, it's like, oh yeah, it's nice to not have to worry about what you say might get you judged. But at the same time, you shouldn't even be thinking in that mindset. And that's another theory of this, another mindset of this theory that I've thought of. Do they think that they're us? And do they think that
Well,
we're them?
there is a.
So,
I think
it
they.
all
I
depends
think
on
they
the,
have their own us.
Yeah,
They-
exactly.
of course they do.
And they
Any-
have their own them
Yeah.
too.
But not everyone that's
Yeah,
them
but we
is
are
then their
them
own us.
because
There's
they're them,
multiple
doesn't fucking
us's in
Yeah.
the world.
But the thing is, it only matters because we're us. So only
Exactly.
our
And not
opinions
even
matter.
necessarily someone that isn't
Personally,
us is one of
I
them.
feel like they kind of realize that yeah, they're not us. Like we are us, and they are probably not
They are
us.
them.
But
It's
they
that
kind
simple.
of like they don't have a problem with it. That's why they
Well,
do
if
the
they don't
thing
have a
they do.
problem with it, good. I
it's fine.
wish
Okay.
happiness upon all people,
Dylan,
especially if they're one of
would
them. 'Cause
you-
it's a lot more difficult for them to be happy.
Would you like consider like a basic white girl who just gets Starbucks or whatever and lives her life happily, like a normie, or you know something along those lines,
Would I consider them what?
like a normie?
A normie?
They're basic or whatever. Yeah, you know.
And
They,
I
they're not involved in internet culture, if you will.
mean they're just a normal person, so I guess yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
then
but
you
is
have
being a normal
us.
person such a good thing? Then you gotta
Yeah,
wonder
well,
that.
so then there's us. So do we view that basic person as us or them? Probably depends on our personal interactions with them. But then
Mhm.
there's those like alt-right greasy trolls on the internet who are like, oh, she's such a normie. Oh my god. Meanwhile, licking Dorito crumbs from their fingers while they type on Reddit.
No, it's
sites.
Cheeto dust.
Oh
Hmm.
yeah,
It's
excuse me.
always Cheeto dust. And it's
Damn, I
crunchy
love
fucking
Cheetos. Oh, okay, cool. Puffy the
So-
best. Puffy are better.
It's always crunchy. I gotta
Yeah.
concede. I think Puffs is better.
Puffs are so much better.
Yeah, but so
I
those
finally
people
reached that
who would
point.
then like just think that this normal person is them is actually one of them to everyone else. So like it's just the scope gets flipped. But what matters is the side that we're on is the right
Yeah.
side. So,
Though,
hell yeah.
though, you do have to be careful because there is while yes, to your own group, so your own us, you can and probably will then discuss, oh, they're them, this group of people them, that person's being them. There's nothing more them and annoying than one group of, let's go to them, undesirables, than declaring others to be undesirables. Like, okay, the people just above the bottom of the barrel are then saying, nah, they're even more bottom of the barrel. Or maybe even people right in the middle of the barrel are describing someone
like, the
above
Indian
themselves.
caste system?
Maybe I am.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly what it sounds like, actually.
Yeah, but like if you're at the
Maybe.
bottom, you shouldn't then say, no, these people below us are even worse. Like, no. If you gotta recognize your own placement among the us them. Because if you confuse your placement in
Sorry,
us them,
But I feel like by that logic,
Oh, we're still
nobody's allowed
talking
to
about this?
criticize anybody unless you're literally number one. Because
well,
you're
no,
never.
you can
because if you're not at the top,
criticize. You can
then you
criticize,
can't
but you
criticize
can't make an
anybody.
What's the
overly
current-
big deal of it.
What are you talking about specifically? Let me chime in.
We're talking about the hierarchy of us.
Well, not just hierarchy, specifically about the legitimacy, not just legitimacy, the problem of people who are themselves undesirables. So anyone who I would even occasionally, with the stuff that we do,
You gotta be careful
consider
saying undesirables,
us.
Drew.
Do I? Why? Am I treading on something bad
That's a,
here?
like, huge
Well-
that's a racially charged
Can I
word.
can I
It is?
elaborate a
I'm
little
talking-
and
I'm talking-
explain where
Every time I've said
Back in the
undesirables,
day, bro, it's
just as a
like
clue here, I've been
people
talking about
racist, but we're
us.
afraid to say they call
'Cause
black
I'm
people
saying-
undesirable.
Well,
There
okay.
are situations where I would consider our group to sometimes act quite them-like, especially like with
Okay.
like our
Well-
in jokes. We definitely act them.
Well,
Yes,
here
a
here
million
how here's
percent, I
how it
agree.
works, right? It's a spectrum, right? And I've told
Absolutely,
you about
absolutely.
I've told you about the power level scaling in
Excuse me.
I-
There's an anime power system for being them.
well, there's an anime power system like in real life. Basically, there's
Naturally.
a theory.
Right.
Well, there's a theory,
Like
right?
me,
It's called.
Goku.
I'm pretty sure I've told you
Hero.
guys this before. It's basically your
Here's the
power
theory. I
level.
could defeat Goku in a fight. And here's
Basically. Well, so basically, it's every single person on this earth has a power level, right? Now, what a power level is I'll use myself as an example. I consider myself a pretty nerdy person. I mean, I like Dungeons and Dragons.
Mhm.
I play video games all the time. I like anime. I
Mhm.
video games is like all this stuff.
Video
Things that you would
games are, like,
consider
selling
nerd.
points on being a nerd.
Right. I mean, all these things
Less
that you would
so.
consider nerdy.
More
I
recently,
would.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not everybody plays a lot of video games.
That's true.
Yeah, it depends
Everything
on
that
the
you
video games that you
consider-
play.
Everything you consider nerdy doesn't necessarily contribute to your power level. Or it contributes to your power level, but it has to do with how well you can hide your power level.
Well,
For example, I like to think that I have a pretty high power level because I think that I'm very nerdy. I have a very high power level. However, the amount of your power level that you show to people like in the public is how much of one of them you are. If that
I don't
makes
think it's
sense.
But are
necessarily
you
show,
using
it's how
power
much
level to
you-
describe how different you are from like.
Well,
an
the
average
goal
person?
is, I mean, in society, the goal
Because
is
power level makes it sound like it's always something like positive, like.
no, not
power.
necessarily. I mean, like
That's
my
how I
power
was
level, my
interpreting
power
it when
level
you
is really
first said
high,
that.
but in society, having a high power level means that you're a fucking dork.
Instead of power level, can we call
Yeah,
it like your
that's what I
mana
mean.
or something?
Man.
I think that
mean,
suggestion
I
brings you
guess.
down a
Lot of
few
words
points
you
in
could
power
use.
level, man. I'm sorry.
I just think power
don't
level
know,
is more
power level,
catchy.
I don't think is a good description.
Yeah.
Because it makes it sound like you're saying you're more powerful when really you're trying to say.
Well, I
you're-
mean,
you
I mean, I like
more
to
niche
think that
things.
I like to think that having a higher power level generally is a good thing. But however,
Yeah, but you're just saying that like in society it's not necessarily a good thing.
well, in society having a high power level just means you're a total dork, which then is, I mean, almost shunned. But the point of the matter, it doesn't really matter what it's called. The point is that the more you show your power level, the more you're willing to show. Like, if someone in your school that you don't really know knows that you have some sort of a power level, the more you slowly become one of them. And the point where you show 100% of your power level to almost everyone that you encounter is when you can say that you're definitely one of them. Whether it's video games, anime, even
Oh, no,
like-
you know, I get it.
like even
Are you
other
saying
shit
that
like
if
I
you
get it, but I'm
reveal
not sure if
all
I
your
agree here.
secrets,
It's like revealing your power in an anime. Suddenly you
Yeah.
become weak because they can outplay you.
I mean, almost
Represent
kind of.
DC world.
I mean, like you can even consider like stuff like band kids. Like band kids, that their power level comes from being a fucking band kid, like knowing all
Yeah,
this.
but
all
they're
this
not afraid to show it, which makes them one of them.
exactly. That's
I
exactly.
know, I get what you're saying. Although this just
I really
reinforces
hate
my
calling
belief
it a
that being
power
one of them is
level,
not really
I'll
a
tell you
bad
what,
thing.
I've
I mean, I
always
don't think
been
it's
Being
that
one of
bad of a
them-
thing either.
I mean, being one of them.
I think it depends
don't
on
wanna
how
be-
much you make being one of them impact
like,
someone
very
that
happy
isn't
people
one of
lose.
your them. Like,
Yeah, exactly. That's what
That's the only
that's what I
downside to being
feel.
one
No
of
one
them.
ever
That's why I
said
said
it-
ignorance is bliss.
No one ever
Because
said that
they're
being
living
one
their
of
best
them.
life, but also I fucking hate them.
Yeah, no one ever said being one of them is a bad thing. And honestly, kudos to you if you can be one of them and be fine with it. But at the
Oh,
same
but if you're
time,
hearing this conversation, your world's getting shattered.
at this same time, like you're in a conversation with someone that knows the concept of us and them, and you're like talking about someone like, oh yeah, I met my new roommate today. He's one of them. You're like, oh god damn, I'm sorry.
It's hard to associate with them. That's the problem. Like they know how to fucking perfectly associate with each other. Honestly,
Exact-
I'm a little
and that's
bit
why
jealous 'cause
sometimes
I
it's
just
hard
can't
to-
understand their fucking weird mindset.
And that's sometimes why it's hard to I guess diagnose it sometimes I mean for yourself. I mean for example, if we were all one of them, you know, it would not be so
Which obviously we're not.
it wouldn't be so obvious to us that we are one of them, you know? It's almost like an echo chamber kind of deal. I mean, this is like crazy politics, man.
This is
The
like
hierarchy of us and them.
psychology.
It's insane. I really didn't think that us
philosophy.
and them talk could get so deep.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I mean, being one of them is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's looked down upon regardless. Which, unfortunately,
yeah, I know,
how
honestly,
lots of
it
things.
deserves to be looked down upon, but also like,
oh my god, I just remembered the thing I got wrong earlier of
It's very
JoJo's. I got a
If you can
JoJo
have-
fact
I
wrong.
mean, but like, if you can have a high power level without showing it, I feel like that's
What
ideal.
JoJo fact did you get wrong?
When I
I don't
said
think-
that
I think
Trish's
it's looked
wrist
down upon.
popped
I don't
open
think
and
it
she started
should be
bleeding
looked
out,
down
that was
upon, it's
Zipper
just
Man,
really
not
fucking
Golden
annoying.
Experience.
I mean, how I
it's not a
generally work
problem.
things
It's
out
very
is like,
annoying when people act like
Oh.
themselves.
Is
in
it raining?
public.
here,
The hell
I'll
is
give you
that?
an example. I'll give you an example. Basically, how I work is I don't reveal or I don't show my power level until the person that I am interacting with shows a little bit of their power level first, right? So like
We're just describing every anime fight right now.
I'll be talking to someone, and then they slip something in like, oh, like I was just playing this game or something. I was like, oh, okay, then I'm like, okay, here's a
Oh,
the
shit,
door
I've heard of
the
that.
door is open a little bit. So then you're like, okay, what games do you play? Oh, I play this game, this game. Oh, you play this game, and then that game's related to something. They're like, do you watch anime? And then they're like, oh, I watch anime, and then it goes back and forth, and then you both slowly reveal your power level. But I will never do it first, you know.
I gotta be
Like
honest.
even the other day.
what you're
Yes.
describing here, kinda. Until you mentioned that, I was
French.
not completely lost, but more like I'm not following you. As in, what you're saying just
I
sounds
still hate
dumb.
the fact that you're
Once you,
describing it as power level.
once you just described it, it kind of just
sounds
sounded
weird.
like. I mean, at least from my experience knowing you, seem like a pretty extroverted person.
It's just
What you
revealing
described
personal
just
information
sounded
about
like
yourself is
a
all you're
way that
talking
of an introvert trying to make friends, not anything nearly as fancy as what
I
you're
mean,
trying to
yeah.
make it sound like.
I mean, that's about as
But when
much
you
as
phrase
it
it
is.
as power and reveal
Yeah,
after they
I gotta be
reveal
honest.
it makes
Calling it
sound
power
like you're
level
not typed
makes
up.
you sound a little them.
Well, I have a
Finish that,
pretty high.
finish that.
I have a high power level. I mean, that's just to show. That's just your power level is
That's
just to say how
just a
nerdy you
fact.
are.
I got. If
Like,
we're
I
talking
would
about, if we're
consider all
calling
of us
power
to have
nerdy,
relative
power
high
level nerdy, I think you might be one of the lowest ones here,
I mean, like
Chris.
all of us, like the
I mean,
collective
even
us.
if you know about the power
Chris,
level
you
system in
like
itself,
you've integrated with a lot more like
Yeah.
popular people.
If
than
I had to
have.
rank us from
I mean,
lowest to
for
highest,
sake,
it'd probably be
I've
Dylan,
been
Chris,
playing Magic
Nick,
since
and
I
then
was
me and
7
Andrew
years
tied
old.
For
I mean,
for power
But
level.
you think I have the lowest?
I
I
absolutely
don't-
think you have the
well,
lowest.
Dylan,
I
the thing
think
is,
so.
I feel like so you have like two
Oh, do you mean
sides. here.
this
You play
power level that
soccer,
Chris is
which is like normal.
And hang out with like
And
normal
then,
people that aren't
like,
us.
no, but those two things are completely unrelated.
Well,
Your
what
power
you're
level and
describing
being,
as your power level is knows like the nerdy things you're into.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Dylan, you play some video games, not a ton. You play soccer, which isn't really a nerdy
I mean,
thing
I'd say
at all.
I feel
You
like I would say
anime, which is a
the
nerdier thing.
excluding Dylan, us four probably have around the exact same power level.
I would
Exact same.
I would
disagree
say-
completely. I would say, Chris, you're substantially lower than us three.
Power level wise, I'm not even gonna lie.
What are you
Drew,
talking
it's
about? Why would you? Okay, what's your
I
reason
think,
behind that?
Drew, I think you're thinking of like power level as like different. You're taking
I'm not
it
saying
into
different.
account power
Well,
level
no,
as
Chris
well
was
as like
describing, like-
popularity.
No. Chris
I
was-
would say
I'm basing
I
off
would
of
say
just what
power
he's been
level is
saying.
like different from everything else.
Yeah,
like,
Drew.
it's
I
its
mean,
own
I'd say
thing.
we're Drew. I'd say you and I are into.
Well, I would
the
say
exact
we're
same
into the
things, if
similar.
not, I'm into more
I'd say
weird-
we're into similar things of like, well, I'm more into Magic than Yu-Gi-Oh now, but like
The,
card
like-
games, anime, all that stuff, video games. It's just
It's the-
at this
it's the
point in
math
time,
of,
I'm a
like-
little bit deeper in each
What'd
of
you just
these
say?
more than you are.
I was gonna ask, like, is Chris? Do you think the amount of each hobby affects your power level overall?
Yeah,
don't
is
think-
it the amount of different hobbies or the amount of how far into a hobby? Like,
I don't think it's
Scales up.
necessarily
like with
I
me
don't
and
think-
Andrew's interest in Magic the Gathering, that wouldn't give the same amount of power level, right? He's been playing for 11 years. I've been playing just since quarantine started. A little bit
I
before
think
that.
I think it's less of necessarily the total amount of time you spend doing it. I think it's more about the knowledge, right? Like if you know the exact same amount as about Magic as Andrew does, in that
so
case,
then that
Okay.
gets me a far higher.
Yeah, Andrew gets
but then
definitely
that
far
includes
higher.
An insane amount of Destiny lore.
Yeah, Destiny
But, like,
lore I
but
got,
also-
D&D
but I
lore,
feel like-
and just mechanics and all that I've
well,
got.
I'm not necessarily sure because like I feel like instead of it being more about how much you know, I feel like it's more about how passionate you are about.
Didn't you
knowing.
just? Okay.
I'm
Okay,
still
we
kinda
can switch
figuring
switch
it
around.
out.
If we
I
switch
feel
around,
like-
that's fine. This is an in progress system. But even when it comes to also
Right,
Well,
passion,
it's
how
a
awesome would it be if you
discussion.
were like a philosophy major and you wrote like your master?
It's a
like,
discussion.
essay
It's a
on
discussion.
yeah, it's a working theory. Nothing. It would
I
be
mean, I honestly
incredibly
don't-
foolish to claim that any theory
That'd
like
be
this
fucking
is
awesome.
perfect out of the bat. You have to, out of the works, whatever it's called. You have to develop it as you make it and as it goes.
No,
But-
there's a lot
mean-
to explore about us.
Yeah, but like under the understanding then of it being how passionate, I would not trying to start an argument here, just trying to legitimately get then an understanding, just a mutual understanding between all of us of what we all
Like,
agree with on
us
here.
versus them goes this deep, then I think referring to them as them is like the wrong thing.
Yeah, because them does sound more like we're trying to
meaning.
completely say them is wrong and that's
Yeah.
it. And we're not trying to say being them is
Think about it,
necessarily
I mean-
wrong.
We have to call them them.
You can
because
just say
what
it
else are we
like-
gonna call them?
Well, in terms of like a
I just call them
minority,
there like naturally. Like,
I mean-
that's just how it works.
being one of them is you're definitely as a minority in that case.
I don't
Right.
know about that either.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Assuming,
Yeah, I don't know about that.
well,
There's a
assuming
lot
that
of-
all of us are one of us, and you see someone that is one of them, I mean, that only makes sense to say that it's one of them because they're not one of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean,
On that, I agree. What I don't agree with is that there's more of us than there are of them.
that is true.
Are you saying he doesn't think that there's more of us?
Oh, how come?
Yeah, I think there's a lot more of them, to be honest.
Then why haven't I
Well,
seen?
it also depends on
Maybe
your
I'm just
viewpoint
less-
because
Well, when you walk
more
into
people
okay,
might
I
seem
might be
like
less
them than
willing to
Chris.
meet new
well,
people,
Nick, if you were to walk
like,
into
get
a
interested with other people, like
Nick, let's say you,
because they could probably turn into us, but I would
Well,
never
that's
find
true.
out because I don't like to associate with them.
Nick, let's just say you have a class, right? Let's say you have a math class in school, and it's a lecture hall with 150 people. How many of those people do you think are one of them, and how many people do you think are one of us?
Out of 150, why
Sure.
not just ask me out of 100 people, how many do I think are them?
Sure.
All right, out of 100 people, I
Right.
think maybe like 60 of them would be them.
And I
The
said
other
that's
thing,
bullshit.
though,
I said that's
here is
It's,
absolutely.
it's like it's not
You're
much
talking
more,
about a
but I think
college.
it's
I'd say
lecture.
I'd say
I don't know
10
if
at most.
They would go to college
Really?
necessarily.
I'd say
them.
10 at most. I feel like 1 in 10 people are one of them, maybe. That's it. I mean, like, how many?
Keep
I-
in mind,
I'm trying to-
you need to keep in mind the them. It's
I'm
the
trying to
same
think
thing
in my brain.
in
How many people?
Yeah, I mean, like my idea of us is a lot more strict.
I'm trying to. Oh, maybe, but I'm trying to think in my brain how many people I consider one of them, and I can only think of not even like maybe 5 people. Maybe.
There's a really important thing that you guys need to keep in mind here.
Fair enough, but I could think a lot of people are them just because, like, again, I guess it's opinion based.
Yo,
Whether you're us or them, but
would you
I
honestly?
think a lot more people are them just because there's a lot of people I wouldn't like to talk to that might be
Nick,
considered us.
when you're thinking of
bro,
them,
I
though,
just had a little bit of an epiphany.
What? I didn't hear what you said. What'd you say?
Drew.
when you're thinking of them, the big thing is also for them. The reason you notice them, let's say you're in a home, let's say there's 10 people there and one of them's them. Are you going to be then paying attention to those other 9 people that you aren't considering them, or that one that's them? That one that's them has so much bigger of an effect on you for being there, and you're just more acknowledging them because they're probably also the ones just randomly say stuff out loud in class or whatever, and just be more in your face annoying about it. So them is just more, since it has a bigger effect, it's almost like getting into maybe even them territory of saying this, like on Reddit. If you're on a subreddit for a game or something, you always see people complaining about the same stuff. Yeah, this is dangerous. Mentioning Reddit's not safe here, but if you're on Reddit or just any social media, any sort of thing discussing any sort of fandom of anything, Twitter works for just fine too. That's a much better example. Should have started with that one. Twitter, you're gonna see people complaining about the same stuff. Let's say it's a game and people say, I don't like how this one weapon is overpowered, you should nerf it. Historically, developers shouldn't listen to that because that's just the much louder minority. And you're going to notice the louder minority way more than you're going to notice a silent majority. So if you have a whole...
There are a lot less of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to turn this back to. There's not as many them, it's just you notice them so much more, so it seems like there's more.
Yeah, you do make a good point. I
That
do
is-
have a feeling that that's exactly what it is.
That's true, because like one of them, an example of one of them would be like some kid like making a reference to like some like Marvel movie, like when a teacher said something. Like,
Yeah, like someone making a reference to something that he...
and like,
Get a laugh
and then
out of them.
they like expect them, like I think you know who I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm not going to name drop anyone here, but yeah, certain student that was in one of my science classes would constantly reference random like pop culture and video game things to our slightly above middle-aged science teacher, who very obviously wasn't going to understand that. But this is a... Now that I think about it, that kid
Fella.
Yes.
kind of tall. I think he was taller than me, same height as me, whatever.
I put
Now I'm thinking
his
about it,
name
he
in-
probably had Asperger's. Now I'm thinking about it. But referencing things that you are into and assuming then everyone else will also either be into it or at least care that you're into it is for me at least. Everyone also has their own them, obviously.
Okay.
Because
One
them
of
is
the
also
main
can just be things that are
them.
pet peeves
I
to
don't
you.
know if that's even them at that point. That's just being literally stupid to think other people have the same exact interests as you.
Well, not even thinking they would care about your interests, even if they're not
That does make
part of
sense.
it. Yeah, at one
To
point
be
you described
honest, like,
amiibos to the
low-key-
teacher, thinking that they would know what an amiibo is. I don't even know if everyone in this call knows what an amiibo is.
Like the Nintendo thing?
Yeah, the Nintendo things. He was talking about how he wanted to get some amiibos for
That's
Christmas.
a really
Christmas.
good
There's no one
example.
cared about.
Like just like thinking, yeah, that people don't know. That's such a good example. Like thinking a normal person would know what the fuck an amiibo is.
Yeah, amiibo is them. No, not even that.
And then,
That's
like,
about no.
integrating
Saying
that
that.
word, like being able to
I
integrate
thought
that
about
word
that
into
word for
normal
fucking
conversation.
years.
Yeah.
Being able to integrate a word like such as amiibo into like a normal conversation with normal people that wouldn't in a fucking million years understand what that is, like that's one of them behavior.
I mean, I don't know. We're talking about amiibos right now, and it sounds like we all know what. Dylan, do you know what amiibos are?
Yeah, but we're ironically talking about it to describe
What?
them.
Yeah, I know what amiibos are.
Okay, so yeah, we all know what
We all know
amiibos
what
are.
amiibos are because as we've established.
But we wouldn't dare to
hundreds-
bring it up in a normal conversation. That's what
Absolutely
differs-
not. Absolutely
That's
not.
what differs us from one of them. Or one
If
of-
we're
yeah,
talking to
yeah.
someone who
Because
knows,
you
we
of
know what an
something
amiibo
doesn't
knows.
mean-
Exactly. See, I think we're coming to a general understanding here.
It's
But
about how you present your nerdy idea. I think that just goes back to what you were saying before, Chris. Someone who's like really open about like their powers, as you talked about
Fucking
before,
dork.
their power level.
exactly.
If the first interaction you have with someone is them going up to you and saying "Eren Yeager," like you immediately know I'm just not gonna talk to this guy.
Yeah.
But also,
That all being
Giving me a
said,
weird look.
I do
Yeah.
think. I mean, like I think we can agree that being one of them and being one of us is definitely a spectrum. Like, there's some bad thems, but
Like,
there's some
there's even some bad
borderline
Who would
us's.
thems,
be-
and
Talking to.
I think it's okay for me to
who's the
say
best
this.
of us though?
I was about to say. Well, let me just say this.
I am the best of us.
I do
duh.
think Mr. Mr. Here, let me actually. I don't know if I should say it. Let me just type in the.
But you could like pseudonym it.
Yeah, pseudonym.
Oh.
We
I
probably
feel
all know
like
who he is.
he is- I feel like that guy right there, he's borderline.
let me see what you said.
One of them.
Ordering the.
I'm gonna delete it. So
Wait, I want to see what this
So
says.
he doesn't question
DM you
why.
it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought you were talking about a teacher or something. So yeah, no. That is a perfect example. We're gonna explain here who we're talking about without saying who we're talking about, because that would be not nice. Basically,
Do you think he'd realize we're talking about him if he listened to this?
I think the problem is that he
Awesome.
wouldn't.
Typically.
I don't think so.
The problem is he
think
would
he's
not
less
know
smart.
we're discussing him if he heard this conversation. So, someone who
Interesting.
did the same thing actually as what we just described before, sharing their
No,
interest
actually,
specifically in a anime
Considering
with a
we
teacher.
should Not.
No, Drew.
wait, hold
We're
on.
talking about different people right now. I DM'd you who we're talking about right now.
You did? Oh, then did you not just
So
put
Bro.
something?
before,
Hold on
the
for a
science
sec.
class person was not.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Can I just interrupt for 1 second? I just thought of another one of them moments.
Was that the person in the science class?
Oh.
That
That was
too,
not the
bruh,
person in
that
science
too.
class, no.
But I feel like
I
a
fucking hate
classic.
this. I've really fucking showed him. one day.
Classic.
This motherfucker walked up to me in the hallway one day in high school. Fucking piece of shit. I
Oh.
hate this guy so much.
Yeah, I
He-
feel like
he
you hit him a
walks
little
up to
more
me
than you
like,
should.
What does he do? What does he do? He said, I don't even know what the fuck he said to me. I definitely didn't say shit to him. And he walks up to me. He's like, he puts his hand up for a high five.
Bro,
He just
I am,
Yeah, he
dude.
just
I,
does
Horrible
that.
person he is
I
to me.
swear to God,
What
dude.
do I do? Nothing.
I have
He-
not once.
this
His eyes, he
person
looks
is
offended.
the go-to person when I hear them.
Bro, I have not once. Every time, like, it's like every single time he sees me in the hallway, he goes for like a high five or fist bump. I promise you, not once have I taken him up on that offer.
I've reciprocated every time because I just feel
I
bad
never did.
otherwise.
No, because that
Dude, I
one-
love how
he
we
did
can
it to
all
me until
relate.
that one time, and
I love how we
I
can
was
all
like,
relate.
is this my chance to finally show him that I hate his guts? And it
No.
worked. He fucking
Multiple-
didn't talk to me after that.
Dude, I've done that multiple times and he still attempts. But like, dude, I remember this one time.
About that person was how touchy he would be.
Oh my
Dude,
god,
I'm
I'm not
about to-
okay
I'm
with
about to
being
say something
touched.
about
I'm
that.
not okay with being touched by the people.
This one time, bro, he came up. He didn't even come up to me. He came behind me, and his form of greeting was punching me relatively hard in the shoulder from behind. He's like, he pointed at, "What's up, Chris?" I'm like, "What the fuck was that? What did you just do?" He's like, "I'm just saying what's up." I'm like, "Oop, almost said his name." I'm like, "Bro, that's not how you greet
Dude,
people."
use a pseudonym. Fucking call him, call him Chris.
No, we're not getting this confusing.
I
It's
just,
unrelated to you, Chris. Just call him.
and one of them.
Problematic.
All I'm saying is, I was like, bro, like.
We're-
One of them moment is something that this guy
You're
talking about has
gonna have to
done.
censor that
I
part
was
out
like,
now,
I was
dude.
like your Kahoot
We're
name
not
in
bullying
class,
him. We're
like a reference
calling him
to
an asshole and saying we don't like him.
We are bullying. This is bullying. A million
Describing
percent.
the time that I've refused to high five him because he's a fucking asshole and I don't.
You
like
s-
speaking
you
or
said
looking
you
at him.
said he's an asshole and you
Hold on,
hate
I'll
his
be back.
guts.
So that's not
Okay.
bullying. That's speaking facts. It's okay to hate people.
Okay,
I'm sick of
let's
pretending it isn't.
let's go back to before we were
Okay.
saying Chris was saying
This
about
is bullying. Not that I have that big of a problem.
back before Chris was saying something about
I respect that.
sharing your nerdiness and like
At least
oversharing
in
it.
this scenario.
I think in general, it kind of sucks that now it's like wrong. Like I do think it's wrong. I get annoyed when I see someone doing it, but I think it sucks that it's now just a wrong thing to like just to publicly be into whatever you're into. So like let's say I'm a huge fan of Attack on Titan, which I am. Let's say I want to like
Yeah, bro, I'm a
get
fucking
like
raging
one of the
nerd.
like
I want to parade about and fucking.
well, even then, like, okay, if I saw someone wearing a fursuit, the first thing I would think is, wow, First, I'd be like, whoa, what the fuck, a fursuit.
Well, the first
Second,
thing I would think is honestly you gotta respect their drive. Second,
first,
fuck
respect their
person.
drive. Second, I would think negatively of a person. I don't know what I would think, but I would think something negative. But then, like, it's not like, there's not a, unless they come up and talk to me and try doing something to me, there's not an instance in when them wearing a fursuit is going to do anything negative to me. I am literally, at that point, just consciously going out of my way to be annoyed by someone else wanting to just enjoy what they're doing. And it sucks that that's a thing that just is so ingrained in everyone.
Yeah,
and even me. And I do it all the
agree.
time.
Can be interpreted in very bad ways because, like, if someone just wants to dress up as an animal and like hang out with other people dressed up as an animal, there's nothing inherently wrong.
Yeah.
If they're doing it because they want to have
certainly
sex with
weird.
animals, that's something wrong.
Well, not everyone that wears a fursuit
So,
wants to have sex with
alright,
animals.
Okay. Let me throw a curveball.
Yeah, I know,
on
but
this.
there
Why
are
is it
people.
wrong to
Yeah.
fuck animals?
So we're gonna steer away from what that. We're not gonna talk about that now.
All right,
so-
that's the end of the podcast. Thanks everybody for tuning in.
Still gotta
Is
go
this
over
the end?
why
That's
you
episode
have-
2, by the way. Is it really wrong to fuck animals?
No, it's yes,
Are
it
we
is
gonna,
wrong.
are we gonna
It's
get?
wrong.
So,
Are we gonna get
I
Sean
have a
on
really
for
good
episode
transition.
3? Is it wrong to have the fucking do incest?
Incest,
Be into
pedophilia,
Anyways,
bestiality,
I have a
all of it.
really good transition here. Ready? So, Drew, you were just talking about like how you're mentally judging people even though you shouldn't.
Yeah.
So, why
Are-
are people racist?
Oh, there it
Oh,
is.
I was not ready for this.
Okay,
episode.
honestly, I don't think there's not a. Is there a rational answer as to why people are actually racist? Is there?
There is no
I wanna
rational
know.
answer.
You know,
Andrew, I remember the other
I've
day you
actually-
tried making
You're
sense
just a
of
fucking loser
racism.
for no
you
reason,
said
basically.
something.
I've been trying to make sense of racism.
Yeah,
in
I
my
think
head a
you've
lot,
been
but
trying to
and it all
say.
just goes back to religion.
Oh my god.
Like,
Alright,
I
now we
kid
have to
you
explore
not.
this.
We
I
kinda
kid you
do.
not. Like, I was thinking about like, oh, what are the issues with society? You know, like racism, poverty, and shit. And it's like always like, so the core ideals of most religions are really good. You know, be nice to your neighbor, and like,
Oh,
shit like that.
Satanic
Yeah.
Devil's fucking killing it.
yeah. But then there's like the really fucked side where it's like, oh yeah, God didn't love the blacks; He only loved the whites. So therefore, all black people are inferior.
Well, at that point, it's not even religion's fault. It's the
that.
people who's in charge of the
I mean,
religion
that's-
using a
Yeah,
way
no,
that they can easily
well,
get to
I
the
mean, sure,
people.
but
I'll misinterpreting.
Just to be clear, I am defending
all
this
religion at this
one
point is interpreted
specific
and
part of religion. I am not a religious person. I am a card-carrying member of the Satanic Temple.
Well, I used to be, so I could speak to this probably pretty well.
He used to be
you
religious,
might
not
not want to just name
Satanist.
drop that without actually explaining
you
what that
cleared
means.
that up.
Yes. Okay. So Satanic Temple, basically, what it is. Where's my wallet? Here's my wallet. Let me explain what Satanic Temple is. The Satanic Temple is a atheistic religion, which means we don't believe in any god. We're all atheists. What it actually is using.
You're fucking taking this to heart.
I am taking charge. I wrote a report on this, Nick. I am dedicated because of the amount of times I've gotten slack for saying that I
you
am.
bought the card, but was that like not for a bit?
No, of course it wasn't for a bit. I actually completely agree with them. This is serious.
Hey, I agree with him too, but I wouldn't call
Yeah.
myself a fucking Satanist.
I would. I
Also,
am.
Name
wouldn't
has
have
some
spent
pretty rough connotations.
Money on a card to show everyone that
So,
I'm a Satanist.
Satanic Temple. What it is? I'll put in a card, a picture of the card. Someone should remind me to do that later. What it is it's basically an atheistic religion.
The audio, you'll be reminded.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to edit this whole thing. Damn it. Am I? Okay, maybe this should be the last topic because I don't want to have to edit for like hours.
So raw uncut.
Raw
I
uncut?
have to do that.
It's not gonna be raw uncut. It's gonna be uncut
Raw
probably.
uncut.
Very little
Not
cut.
Completely uncut, but mostly.
Yeah. We'll cut this part out because yeah. Maybe not. Satanic Temple say outwardly, yeah, we're Satan worshippers. What they actually do is not that. Don't believe in Satan. Don't believe in any sort of god or anything.
Bit of trolling.
Kind of, yeah. A little. They do.
I mean, do
Oh.
if you want. Don't tell people not to believe in God.
They
Yeah,
do.
I mean,
okay
people
to
are
do.
entitled
A
to their
lot
own
of
shit.
trolling.
Like, God gives people salvation, which is like great. Like it
Well, no one's here saying don't
There's
believe
at
in
least
God.
Some reason to believe that God exists.
Is there? Really?
I just like I think
I find
religion
it
for the most
strange
part.
that God stopped performing miracles once people were able to properly document it. But you know,
Yeah, that's a bit of a
I
iffy
think
one, isn't it?
I think
that's
in
just a little
general,
weird to me. But you know, there's still
I think in
there's
general,
a reason
religion's
to believe
like
that God exists.
there's plenty of good things about religion. It's just I hate when people won't recognize the hypocrisy of what they are like exactly worshiping. Because all like religion,
Catholicism.
yeah,
You should see my
like the
grandma.
oh
She's
my god, dude,
actually
the
like
Catholic
literally
Church
racist.
in
I'm
the
telling you right now, literally
1500s.
racist. Also devout as fuck Catholic. Also kind of a bitch sometimes. Also not she's very loving person sometimes, and then
But
sometimes
not
she'll
towards
fucking
black
like
people.
Wait, where are we
not
gonna?
towards black people. She
On what
I
platform are we
told
gonna be
y'all
posting this? Can we?
Samuel L. Jackson, the colored
I
man.
was just about to ask, what platform are we posting this on? Can we tell the story of the colored man? Because that.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I mean, that's the whole
Colored isn't
story.
that bad. I'm
Yeah.
sure people don't like hearing it anymore.
Yeah.
But the word color.
I love when you have to.
You're not
say
meant to
something like,
ref-
It's not
inherently
that
really
bad.
You're not meant to refer to people as a. You're meant to refer to people. I think now it's people of color.
I wouldn't call someone a colored man. I'm
the fuck
using
are
the
you?
word to describe what my grandma called Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah. The colored man.
For those of you who don't know who Samuel L. Jackson is,
He's a colored man.
read the fuck up. He's a very popular man.
Really cool guy.
Yeah, but like just the.
My
that's
uncle
what
met
I
him in a
was saying,
bathroom once.
Hey, that's
Yeah.
lit. Did
Point
they,
is,
like,
she's
hold
Catholic, it
hands
makes
before they
no
washed
sense.
hands?
Nah, he like came. Samuel Jackson like came out of a stall while my uncle's like washing his hands, and he was like, "Whoa, are you Samuel L. Jackson?" And he like looked all annoyed, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm Samuel L. Jackson." And then he just kind of like they left. It wasn't a very impressive story. It probably was fake. Now that I say this, I'm realizing it's definitely a fake story. He makes up everything, so he probably didn't meet Samuel L. Jackson.
No, is this your racist grandfather or whatever you said?
It's my uncle. No, he's not uncle. He's not racist. He's like
Yeah.
Uncle.
he like wishes he's gay.
Who's the racist one in your family?
My grandparents aren't
You
super.
know, a story for another time.
Yeah. Immigrant grandparents,
Yeah,
you know
the
them.
point
They're
is-
racist.
Like a lot of the issue is okay. So what I said before about the issue being religion, that's like kind of a half-bit lie, because really the issue is anyone who's in power who has these predetermined beliefs that were instilled in them by the other people in power. You know, it just goes back hundreds and hundreds of years. That all pretty much started because like of religion. So it's like it can be traced back, but it's not like religion's fault necessarily. But yeah, that's my main issue with it is the hypocrisy of like saying, oh, you know, love your neighbor,
And
but
you
then these people
love your
also
neighbor.
turn around and like don't like black people, or like
Love your
the
neighbor,
new
unless your
law
neighbor's
that got
black.
passed in Texas or whatever. Yeah, the new abortion law that got passed in Texas is like, you know, adamantly against abortion, but then those same people would be fine with bombing Afghanistan. It's just there's a real disconnect in the ideals, and I find that very
Their ideals are only their ideals when their ideals are convenient to them.
yeah, when it's convenient for them. Exactly.
When it's convenient to their ideals. People really don't know what to think anymore, so just the first thing that pops into mind is what they stick with.
Yeah.
Which is probably where the source of hypocrisy comes from.
Yeah.
Hell, hypocrisy's awesome. Because then you could just change your mind on the fly, no matter what it contradicts that you used to believe.
Oh, that's like
Or
that
if you
shitty
still
bit I've
believe
started recently.
One last thing before we end. One last final statement here. I want to say, you know what kind of people I hate? And I'm not going to be racist. Don't worry. I'm not about to say something racist here.
Me?
You're one of these people sometimes. People whose like their favorite thing, what they love, is making other people upset because then
other people
they
upset.
make you upset.
Yep.
Then when you get upset that they make you upset, then they win. Then when you announce, like I'm doing right now, that I hate when these people make you upset, now they're winning even more because they're continuing to make me upset even long after they've made me
okay,
upset.
I mean, if you
me to win
if you
this.
do that, you just kind of suck.
Yeah,
Like,
but Drew,
you
you say
just
winning,
suck.
but are those people really winning at life if they make someone else upset? They're probably like depressed as shit on the inside.
That is a good point.
Like,
good point.
I think it's funny.
While that is a great point, yeah,
It's
Nick is
fun
one
to
of these
piss
people.
It's not fun to piss people off. It's fun to piss people off when they deserve to be pissed off because they're talking about some stupid shit. Like, let's get.
Well, yeah, and
let's get back on
when
the
that point you're not
50% thing.
oh,
Like,
at
if
that
I
point
killed
you're not
somebody I didn't like
pissing
Demon
people
Slayer
off
very
for
much, and they're
fun.
like,
You're
"What the
pissing
fuck
people
do
off
you
because
not
they
like Demon
deserve it.
Slayer?" Then I'll fucking go off talking about it was a dog shit show, even though I thought it was okay at best. They're like pretty good actually. But it's like some people just get angry too quickly, and it's fun to toy with that, you know.
I
To
guess.
see how far you could push it. It's almost. The
I mean,
psychological
I'm being
experiment of how mad can I make the
hypocritical
person
right
by
here.
talking about
I
fucking
occasionally
TV show?
enjoy the occasional trolling.
The occasional trolling.
The occasional trolling I enjoy.
A little bit.
A little, just a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit. Okay.
And there it is, the hypocrisy. It's fun
There's
to
hypocrisy.
be hypocritical.
It is fun to be hypocritical sometimes, I guess. It's not fun, it's more convenient to be hypocritical. In the same way, it's fun to ride a bike without wearing a helmet when you don't crash. It's fun. Yeah.
As long as you don't crash.
As long as you don't crash, it's fun to not wear a helmet. It's convenient. You don't need to do it. It's good.
It's a little bit of a risk, but you know.
Yeah.
Is it a risk to be hypocritical?
No.
It's a
It's
risk if you
not.
go
If
against
somebody
someone that's
calls
really
me
good
out
at
on my,
cards.
if somebody calls me out on my bullshit, I'll be like, "Oh, you caught me out on my bullshit." Okay, and I'll probably just say the same thing. Not that it matters.
Being
All my
hypocritical,
homies hate you.
hypocritical, really.
Loving it.
Yeah, it's I'm not doing a fucking term paper. Like I don't care if I'm like
It only
inconsistent with
matters
whoever
if
I'm
you're
talking to.
hypocritical in like the
Only
same
matters to
statement
Sean.
or like the same conversation.
Yeah, like if I'm inconsistent,
Separate
like so
conversation is fair
what? Like
game.
as long as I'm not being mean to you and you're not being mean to me, who cares?
Okay, that's enough for today. I think we'll end it here. This has been Mountain
Alright.
Twink Syndicate
The ending
Boy
is the
Twinks.
race.
You
Um,
think we've
Yeah.
successfully solved racism?
I think we've
Well,
solved
I mean, I
racism.
basically said, why be racist? And
That's
I
solving
don't know a
racism.
good
Be
answer.
racist? There, that's
I mean, if you listen to this and you
Yeah.
have any ounce of
It's
respect for
literally-
yourself, don't be
It's really-
racist,
it's
or else
honestly
you're
just that
like
easy.
kind of lame, honestly. And if
You're
you're
definitely
fine with being
100%
lame,
racist.
then that's like kind of lame,
It's
you
just
know?
like it's so much easier to be not racist than to be racist. Like
Yeah.
you know, when you see a man of color or something win an Olympic Games, it's easier to say, "Wow, that guy's a really good athlete," than, "Wow, he only did it because he's X race." Just don't fucking say that shit. It doesn't matter. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, that's all.
It's truly that easy.
It is that
it
easy.
really that easy to end a podcast?